Let's start with a question. Who truly listens to you when you need it most? Family is important, sure. But friends, real friends, bring a unique layer of attentive listening, free from the baggage of expectation. There's an emotional independence in friendship that makes genuine listening possible. Have you ever noticed how a friend's calm curiosity helps you unpack your thoughts? That's called psychological safety, a fancy term for the comfort zone we feel with those who don't judge or control us. I think back to lunches with my closest friends and realize that their willingness to simply hear me without rushing to fix or react gave me the space to process life's biggest questions. That's the first secret to deep connection, the freedom to be heard without strings attached. Now, you might be asking, why are friends sometimes better listeners than family? Here's the setup. Sandy, after a life-changing workshop, confides her dream to her friend Roberta, not her husband. Why? Because Roberta listens without feeling threatened or defensive, a perfect demonstration of emotional boundaries. Emotional autonomy and active listening are two technical terms that sound clinical, but think of it like this. Emotional autonomy is the space to be yourself, and active listening is the art of focusing on the speaker. Roberta's support gave Sandy the clarity to make her own decision, while her husband's reaction, rooted in fear and self-interest, shut down the conversation. The lesson? To foster growth, create safety by separating your needs from your friend's story. Let me tell you a story. In every family, there are those no-go zones, subjects too risky to broach. But with friends, those zones shrink. The voluntary nature of friendship is like an open contract. You can walk away if the dynamic turns toxic. That's what psychologists call relational flexibility. We can risk vulnerability talk, pain, dreams, doubts, because there's less fear of reprisal or obligation. Have you ever wanted to reveal a difficult truth to a relative but held back, only to spill it easily to a friend over coffee? That's the safety net of voluntary association at work. The takeaway here: make room for honesty in your friendships, and don't fear the depth it brings. Here's a question I ask myself often. Why do I feel more alive after a good conversation with a friend? The answer lies in two words: mirroring and receptivity. When someone listens intently, they hold up a mirror, reflecting back your best self and encouraging growth. It's the conversational equivalent of sunlight to a plant. I recall moments when a friend's interest pushed me to speak more boldly, think more clearly, even dream bigger. That's how friendships not only deepen us, but broaden us, expanding who we think we are. So, next time you're tempted to just nod along, remember, real listening isn't passive. It's a creative act that can transform both speaker and listener. Have you ever looked at your weekly to-do list and realized friendship didn't make the cut? Let's be honest. Life's obligations squeeze out what feels optional, and that includes spending time with friends. Social prioritization and time scarcity, those are the technical challenges here. But the real conflict is internal. We vaguely wish for more connection, yet rarely carve space for it. I challenge you. Write down the 5 most important things for next week. Was friendship on there? If not, ask yourself why. The solution isn't more hours in the day, but making conscious choices to invest in your relationships. Because, in the end, busyness is just an excuse for neglect. Picture this. Your friend's relationship is in trouble, and you want to help, but sympathy can cross the line into judgment fast. Emotional contagion and boundary crossing, those are the hidden dynamics. Maggie's friends, eager to support her, take her side so strongly that she feels pressured to end her romance. "I'd never let a man treat me that way," they say. But is that empathy or projection? Now, you might think, Aren't friends supposed to protect each other? Yes, but only if their advice honors your right to make your own choices. True empathy acknowledges uncertainty and supports, rather than dictates, the path forward. Before you urge a friend to act, ask, am I listening or am I rescuing? Why is it sometimes harder to resolve issues with friends than family? Here's the setup. Family ties are obligatory, but friendship is elective. That means conflict, avoidance, and fear of abandonment shape how we handle grievances. When a friend hurts you, do you speak up or let it fester? The risk, of course, is that honesty might push them away. But let me flip the script sometimes. An honest complaint can save a friendship. I've learned that stating your feelings while acknowledging your friend's viewpoint opens a door to real understanding. Think of it as a relational reset button, scary at first, but often the only way to keep resentment from poisoning what you value most. Now, let's talk about the flip side. What happens when you become a dumping ground for a friend's problems? Ever notice how chronic complaining can drain the very energy you rely on for your own growth? That's called emotional labor. Unlike transactional listening, which is a give and take, emotional labor is the unpaid work of absorbing someone else's distress. If the scales tip too far, one person always venting, the other always absorbing, the friendship wilts. The fix? Set boundaries before burnout sets in. A simple, I care, but I need space too, keeps things balanced. Remember, sustainable friendship is about mutual support, not martyrdom. Let's face it, giving advice to friends is a minefield. Offer your opinion too freely, and you risk sounding critical. Hold back, and you might feel dishonest. Advice giving and psychological reactance. That's the technical duo to watch. Good advice is like a trial balloon. Float it gently. See if your friend wants to catch it. Try asking, would you like a suggestion? Or, what do you think? If they bristle, back off. The goal isn't to fix, but to empower your friend to choose. If your advice is rejected, don't take it personally. Healthy friendships are built on respect for autonomy, even when our perspectives differ. Have you ever lost touch with a friend and wondered, did we really outgrow each other? Or did we just stop listening? Relationship maintenance and emotional drift are the concepts at play. As we change, so do our needs. But friendships need intentional upkeep. Gil and Roy, for example, let misunderstandings and unspoken grievances corrode their bond, not because they stopped caring, but because they stopped communicating. Here's my challenge to you. Take stock of your friendships. Are you nurturing them or letting them slide into neglect? Sometimes, growing together means working at it, even when it feels less than natural. Transitioning to the workplace. Let's ask, why does listening matter at the office? Organizational citizenship and proactive listening, these are the keys. Take Marianne. New to her firm, she felt isolated when her colleagues excluded her socially and professionally. The real problem? A lack of active effort to build a sense of belonging. A good listener in the office doesn't just wait for feedback, they seek it out, ask questions, and foster inclusion. If you're a manager, remember, leadership isn't just about giving orders, but creating an environment where every voice matters. Listening is your superpower. Unlock it, and you'll unlock your team. Ever felt invisible at work, even when you try to speak up? Here's the setup. Your boss doesn't listen, and you're at risk of slipping into resentment. Triangulation and learned helplessness are the psychological traps here. Instead of venting to colleagues, spreading gossip, or bitterness, shift focus to self-advocacy. Ask yourself, am I expecting others to validate me, or am I taking myself seriously? Marianne's breakthrough came when she insisted on being taken seriously, not as a child seeking approval, but as an adult claiming respect. Sometimes, you can't change others, but you can always change your approach. Finally, let's talk boundaries in professional relationships. Compassion, fatigue, and role confusion, two terms managers know too well. When a colleague brings personal issues to the office, it's tempting to play therapist. But too much personal disclosure can derail productivity and blur lines. The solution? Assertive communication. Respond with care, but keep the focus on work. I'd like to help, but I need to get back to my tasks. By setting limits, you safeguard both the relationship and your own energy. Remember, the workplace isn't a substitute for friendship, but every team thrives when members feel heard, respected, and supported within clear boundaries.